Madam Secretary, I know we have an awful lot to talk about, and you've been so kind and sharing, giving me some of your time in a meeting with you. But I think on the record, I'd like to have a few things that we can talk about on the record and make sure that we do. First of all, with all this going on, I know there's a lot of talk about the bank and this and that. And I think it was Senator Hagerty was talking about over the 250. I've been talking and to a few of our colleagues, and we were just wondering if it's, and you said you haven't gotten to that point yet. So let's say 90% of my West Virginia depositors are under 250. And now they're going to pay a little bit higher premiums, I guess, or higher bank fees, or somebody's going to pay. Is the bank absorbing that, or will it be passed on to the consumer?
Well, it's not obvious it would be passed on to the consumer. I suppose it could be, but may also be absorbed by it's a special one-time assessment.
If we're assuming that could happen, and maybe it could to the consumers, okay, they understand, the bankers, I had all the community bankers in. What they believe would be unfair, they said, listen, we're in good shape. We move money around. So if we have a depositor who has $1 million, this one banker says, I'll call 3 of my friends and say, can I move 250 to you, 250 to you, and 250 to you? We do that all the time to make sure everyone's covered. That's my response. He said, that's my responsibility. Which made all the sense in the world. So I know there's a lot of tools that we already have that sometimes just bad banking practices. They all come to the conclusion they felt the San Francisco feds did not do their job. They thought they were, lax in basically what they should have enforced. There was 8 months without a risk manager at the bank, SVB, that they knew of. Is that factual?
Senator Manchin, I'm not involved. It's the Federal Reserve and California that are involved in the supervision of that bank. I'm not involved. I've read some newspaper stories about this, but this is not in the public domain, and I don't know.
Well, for the record, I think you did the right thing. We all made your decision on taking care of depositors, but not the bank bailout and not the shareholders and all that. And I think there's a clawback. You understand there's legislation for clawback.
Yes.
Because we think that there was nefarious acts by those responsible to protect themselves and the heck with their depositors and all the other people who've fallen prey to this. So we're hoping that you all can look at that and maybe give us your blessing.
Good evening, friends. Action is expected to be taken by Congress this week, and Republicans in the House of Representatives are proposing a 1-year debt ceiling plan. This bill would raise the debt ceiling, but also make huge changes to several relief programs. My dearest friends, I'll be covering these new details, so please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. House Republican leaders are moving behind the scenes to get their party behind a plan that would raise the debt ceiling for 1 year with a slew of cuts and revenue raisers. This move is intended to strengthen their negotiating position with the White House in the high-stakes standoff. The goal is to put a bill on the House floor as soon as this May. It could pass a narrowly divided chamber and then send a clear signal to President Biden that any legislation raising the debt ceiling must have strings attached. So there's no official number yet for the amount of cuts and revenue raisers that Republicans are seeking. But one source said the goal is to find $3 trillion to $4 trillion worth of budget savings over the next 10 years. Over the 2-week recess, top House Republicans have been speaking with their rank-and-file members to find a consensus on a plan that has been under development for several months. Republicans are not yet unified on the emerging plan, with one source familiar with the talks saying some of the more conservative members have pushed for more measures, such as a repeal of green energy tax credits. But GOP lawmakers have called the talks productive and expect internal discussions over a Republican-led plan, which will also intensify when lawmakers return to Washington, D.C. this week after recess. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy plans to set the tone over the GOP demands with a speech this Monday. It is not yet clear when the country could potentially face its first ever default if the debt ceiling is not raised. But it could happen as soon as this summer or as late as this fall. If the debt ceiling is not raised, there could be drastic economic ramifications. The White House and Senate Democrats have said that the debt ceiling should be approved without any conditions and have challenged Republicans to produce a plan if they won't move on a clean increase. Even if the House Republicans can pass their own plan, it has no chance of passing the Democratic-led Senate. But House GOP leaders believe passing their own bill would force the White House to negotiate a package of spending cuts in exchange for raising the debt ceiling. Republicans are also considering an overhaul to the federal regulatory process by giving Congress new power to reject rules imposed by the administration. Plus, the GOP believes it can raise new revenue through provisions that would make it quicker to greenlight more energy projects. And they are weighing a 2% cut to federal spending when Congress passes a stopgap resolution to keep the government funded. Many are questioning whether a government shutdown will impact federal benefits, especially those who depend on payments to pay their bills, buy food and other necessities, and secure health care. This has been especially troubling for families that rely on SNAP benefits, which is the nation's most essential anti-hunger program. Roughly 42 million families depend on the SNAP program to feed their households. SNAP benefit amounts are updated each year based on the cost of the Thrifty Food Plan. It is one of the 4 USDA-designed food plans that estimate the cost of a healthy diet across various price points. Beneficiaries of SNAP benefits and child nutrition do face a major risk if a government shutdown occurs, primarily because of the program's funding structure. However, there are protections in place to ensure that SNAP benefits go out in the event of a shutdown, at least temporarily. The USDA Food and Nutrition Service does have a contingency plan in the event of a shutdown due to a lapse in appropriations. The plan calls for the continuation of essential federal activities and funding, such as SNAP. But this plan also covers a few days after a shutdown begins. Ultimately, there is no one plan for all agencies of government in the event of a shutdown. Each agency has its own plan, and the plans are coordinated through the Office of Management and Budget. So whether an agency furloughs its federal employees during a shutdown depends on how the agency is funded. If it is an agency with mandatory funding, it is likely to remain open. If the agency falls under the umbrella of discretionary funding, then it's most likely to be temporarily closed. Well, my beautiful and my most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this evening. Thank you, dearest friends, for being here and for being here every single day. To show my appreciation and to say thank you to all of you, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Sunday.